Okay, so if I want to bring some scans over into Illustrator, actually I want to bring them somewhere else before, oh, there are no scans there. So the first job is going to be locating which of those various scans has your images in it. But once you do that, you can then start transferring the images over to either, I like to use a little software on the PC computers called View. On the Macs, you can use Preview to either do screen captures of what you're looking at, and also you can use Preview on the Macs to adjust the contrast of the images. And you can see what I mean here on this image. The vectorization engine in Illustrator and also in Inkscape looks at the values of the image, the lightness and the darkness. All this little sort of coloration that's on the paper, it matters. And I can also see some stuff here that's going to be problematic. See that little opening right there? That matters to the vectorization engine. That opening tells it that you know, that's not a closed area. So I'm going to show you how to fix those real quick too. So I'm just going to work with this image. It's probably indicative of what you're going to see in a lot of the imagery, but I need to be able to see the entire image first. There are a couple of different ways to try to migrate this file. The first thing I'm going to try is actually to download the file to the computer. I seem to have more success when I do that. So I'm going to save link as and just put this in downloads. Give that a second. And then I'm going to open it with, ideally, Acrobat Pro. You may do just as well in just Acrobat Reader, but I'm going to try to open it in Acrobat Pro, Adobe Acrobat. Okay, and this is actually a different graphic, but I'm going to go with it. Okay, so the first way that I'm going to try to migrate this over to Illustrator, in Acrobat, it actually allows me to make selections. You need to use your select tool to actually drag a selection around a piece of it. And once you have a piece of it selected, copy that. And I'm going to try to see if I can paste that now directly into Illustrator. I'm going to start myself a new document. Since you did 4 or more design styles, do 4 or more artboards. I'm going to set my size to just a common letter size. I'm also going to set it to be landscape. So I'm in Illustrator now. If I zoom back, I can see those 5 artboards. So I've already copied something. I'm going to test to see if I can migrate it by just doing Control-V to paste. And that worked pretty good. That came on over. And if I zoom in on that, hold down my space bar, I can grab my workspace. And that looks okay. That may work. But I'm going to show you an option. I'm also going to paste that copied image into View. If you're on the Macs, you'll have to paste into Preview. So Control-V, and I paste that into View. And first thing I want to do is I want to actually darken this image. So in View, I'm going to go to Image, Color Corrections. And adjust that. And I really, if I can, the idea is to make my lines a little bit thicker and darker. Essentially just increasing the contrast of it. Even though I've made the entire thing darker, that's okay. But the number one thing is I want to make what is there, just emphasize it a little bit more. So after I do that in View, I'm going to hit OK. And again, if you're on the Macs, you'll use Preview to do the same functions. So now I want to migrate this adjusted image back into Illustrator. So Control-A to select all, Control-C to copy, and then I can go back to Illustrator. And I'm going to zoom back, Control-, and then Control-V, and now I've got the better image. The contrast on the image is a lot better. So, and again, I'm just going to walk through the vectorization process with you. When you try to vectorize one of these images, make sure you have it selected. Sometimes students will be trying to work on something, but you know, Illustrator is an object-oriented environment. You will, you know, filter or adjust whatever you have selected. So I'm going to go to Image Trace instead of just clicking Image Trace. I'm actually going to go to the drop-down menu here and try to keep this simple. Either do black and white logo or probably go for black and white logo. Do not do high fidelity. You could do 3 colors, but I wouldn't do any more than 3 vector passes on any of this. You want to try to keep it as simple as possible. So I'm going to do black and white logo, and we can see that as is, see how all those shapes are open and broken? We don't want that. So next to your tracing button, you're going to see this little icon here for your image trace panel. You'll need that to adjust the threshold and also the paths. Paths are just the lines that you're working with. If you don't see the advanced options, click the arrow so you would be able to see those. So first thing I'm going to adjust is the threshold. And there are 2 functions I look for trying to do this. One of them being the threshold to close off these parts, the other being the paths. Some of these also can change the smoothness of your lines, and so that looks pretty good to me right now. I'm going to leave that as it is to show you an option. Okay? So I'm going to copy this one, and both of these are sort of in limbo. They haven't been broken yet. So I'm going to break this one first. Before I break it, I'm actually going to put a colored box behind it because, of course, our background in Illustrator is, I'm just going to put any color behind it. Again, Illustrator is an object-oriented environment, so that means I can send objects backwards and forwards. So I want to send this box backwards, so I'm going to right-click on it and arrange, send to back. Okay, and then I'm going to re-click on this object that I did run the tracing command on it, but I haven't outlined it yet, turned it into a true vector. To do that, you always have to click Expand. Once I click Expand, I can see the actual vectors on the object. This is a grouped object. If I want to get rid of the white space around this grouped object, instead of the main selection tool, I go to the direct selection tool and then click in that exterior area there. Then backspace or delete will let me get rid of that area there. If I want to get rid of this area here and any of the other areas, I can hold down Shift to select multiple areas. Then backspace or delete. But let me show you with, and these still are grouped elements. That's what's good about using the hollow tool to get rid of those interior pieces. It still remains a grouped object. If you ever ungroup it, be aware of that. You need to be able to regroup it. Let me show you another option though. Oh yeah, also if you ever go into this mode where you see this gray bar here, you're in a sub-edit mode you don't need to be in. Hit the escape button to get out of that sub-edit mode. I'm going to relocate this one, put this one on top, and I want to show you an option. Before you expand these, you've got other options that you can do in the tracing panel. One of the ones that is really cool is you can tell the vectorization engine to ignore white. And it'll take it a second to, I got to hit preview. And once I hit preview, you know, it just cleans all that up for me. What I like about not doing that though is I'm able to go into these interior areas and put color if I want to. But you may not want to. If you want it just to only be the dark lines, then just tell it to ignore white. So I did that one like that, so I'm going to hit expand. And, you know, and that way I can see the result of this one. And I could put other colors into it. But let me grab another image from my PDF to show you how to fix. I'm going to fix this guy as best I can right here, do some stuff to him. But first, I want to copy the most pixels possible. So I'm going to actually zoom in to increase the size of what I am. I've zoomed too far, I think. So I'm going to zoom back a little bit. And then, and I'm going to show you another way to get this into another software by doing a screen capture. The screen capture you need to do on the Macs, you need to use Preview to do it. Get the image where you need it to be, then select Preview on the Macs, and then it will let you import a screen capture. But on the PCs, I am just going to do, the newer PCs are set up with Control Mustache. I don't know if y'all know what I'm talking about. But you can also just do Control Print Screen. If you do Control Print Screen, of course, it captures the entire screen. So I'm going to paste that into OpenView. So Control V, and we can see I copied everything, but now I'm going to crop just the bit I want to work with. And then if I go to Edit Crop, and I usually do the hotkey in OpenView, Control Y, and that way I have just the bit I want to work with. And that actually didn't capture a lot of pixels. That's just a little bit, but I'm still going to work with that. But the first thing I'm going to do first is color correct it, darken it, then increase the contrast. And apply that to the original. That doesn't look quite dark enough. Okay, I'm just going to go with that for the sake of time. So now I'm going to Control A to select that, Control C to copy it, and then go back to Illustrator. In this image, we can see it's got breaks in it. So I need to correct those breaks. And this is how you do this in Illustrator. You actually have to draw little parts on top of it. I would suggest just the pencil tool. When you select the pencil tool, go ahead and put no fill and just a outline color. That's all we really need. And any areas that are open, now I'm going to put it in there. And hopefully it will remember that last. And this is not going to vectorize very well. The higher the resolution the image, the better it will vectorize for me. But I do want to look for any areas that are open and try to put a continuation or a bridge over those areas. Okay, and that's okay for now. I wish I had gotten this darker when I had it in OpenView, but we'll see what happens. So now I actually need to join this image with those little marks that I made. And just to illustrate this a little bit, I'm going to draw some other marks on here just so you can see what's going to happen with what I'm going to do. If you have an image that has dark smudges all over it, actually put white cover up. You can cover up areas that may be too dark or that you're trying to clean up. But I'm going to turn off the outlines on that. And you can just copy and paste these cover-ups over areas that you don't want. But then I have to join all of this into one image. Illustrator will not recognize this as one image that I can vectorize unless I put it all together. So the way that I'm going to put all of that together is select all of it, and then there's an object command that I'm going to use called rasterize. And basically that's just going to flatten all of that into one picture. And that's all I really need to select. And it turned all of that into one picture. And now that it is one picture, I can go ahead and do an image trace on it. Again, I'm going to go with a black and white logo. And you see it totally just wiped that out, sort of blew it out. That's not bad. I enjoy the way that that looks. It's got sort of a crunchy line style to it. If what you vectorize has such a line style that you don't like, you can adjust the corners to